What's up everyone? Welcome back or welcome to another weekly dose of video. My name is Aldo, I'm a powerlifter and day trader. The purpose of this channel is to document my journey, both my powerlifting journey and my money making journey. So if you're into this stuff, make sure to subscribe for more. It's been 10 days since my last powerlifting competition. I had time to properly reflect on the performances. So I thought it would be great to finally sit down and discuss how it went, any conclusions, and also I prepare a surprise for you all, and that is I tried to do a mini vlog the day of the competition, but then it was going well, but then as soon as the excitement, the stress of the competition caught me up, I started to forget to record, and that's when really it ended. I was still able to record the majority, so I think you are gonna enjoy it. Also, we are going to watch all of the clips together. That's officially my first time really sitting down and watching them. I did watch them while I was competing, but for obvious reason I was distracted, so I couldn't really react or think clearly when watching them. So this is my first time. We're going to react to all of the lifts, all of the attempts together. Lastly, if this video inspires you, teaches you something, please share it so we can reach and help more people. That will mean a lot to me and of course to the channel. Alright, let's get to the sauce. Before we begin with watching the clips, I thought it would be great to give you all the perspective of the entire week, and that's because it is going to be relevant to what we're going to talk about. One thing I noticed is that I haven't talked much about my weight in all of the prep videos. I basically was bouncing around 75 and 74 kilos, which was still good since my weight cap was 74 kilos, except for the fact that I weighted 75 kilos one day out from the competition. So as you can imagine, that was getting scarier by the day, very scary. And that's when I really had to pull out all of the tricks, all of the, adjustments of the diets, of the water intake, and pretty much everything. So from Monday, I started to increase my water intake from 4 liters to 6 liters. That was easier than I expected, but I definitely felt much more water in my body, and also the need to pee, like a little bit more, but it was still fine. I'm definitely used to drink 4 to 4.5 liters a day, so I do think 2 liters more weren't really a big deal. And then since the day before the competition, I still weighted around 75 kilos. That's when I dropped my calories by 1,000. So from 2,800, 2,600 to then 1,800. And also had to modify my meals. Basically, I had to eat the majority of calories by lunch, then very small snack. And then I had to anticipate the dinner from 8:30. I'm used to eat around that time, to then 6:30, and I also had to finish my water, the water for the day, by that time. And again, that was easier than I expected. So I don't know, very proud of myself for that. I know many people would have struggled definitely big time, but it was okay for me. I wouldn't say it was very easy, but I wouldn't even say it was hard. And then the next morning, when I started the mini vlog, that's exactly what happened. Good morning, guys. It's the day of the meet. We are ready. Well, I still have to pack everything up, organize my equipments. We should be ready, except for one little thing, and that is the weight. As you saw, literally just now I weighed it myself and I weighed 74.4 kilos. We are 400 grams above my weight cap. I mean, it's still not super bad, and that's because the weight scale in the place of the competition usually gives me less weight than what I weigh here at home, so I should still have some margin, but the only way to know is when we will get there. So yeah, today a little bit extra stress, and the worst thing is that I cannot drink and eat anything. I woke up with a very dry mouth, so you know the day started really nice. And I'm looking at exactly that water bottle. It's very dangerous there. I might drink it without even noticing it, so I might have to hide it somewhere. Anyway, 400 grams is not really too bad. I'm going to pack my things, and then after that we're going to the supermarket together and buy some nice things for the post-weigh-in meal. Definitely water, definitely something to drink. Okay, our precious belt, then the knee sleeves, and then deadlift stuff, socks, and some protection, squat and bench shoes, also deadlift shoes actually, all in here. Wrist straps, very soft one, the light one. We're gonna also bring the stiff one just in case. These are the stiff one. Bands for warm-up. Also, I was thinking to bring the foam roller this time. It might be useful this time. Okay, and that should be it to here. Hopefully it doesn't break. Alright, gym stuff is ready. Now in probably 30 minutes, even 1 hour, we can go to the supermarket together and then see what delicious things we can buy. Delicious things we can buy. Okay guys, 2 hours after, little update of the weight. I went to the bathroom a couple times more. Still haven't drunk or eaten anything. That's the sad part, but the very nice news is the weight. So that's very nice news. Now we dress up, get ready, and go to the supermarket to buy nice things. Okay, so I forgot to record while going to the supermarket, so I'm going to show you all the last thing I will pack in my bag, which is basically food and then some clothes. Yep, let's get it. So first, a shirt for after the competition, medical certificate there, and then the magic singlet. It's called singlet. It's basically that special suit you put on I guess we could call it suit. Anyway, the real name is singlet. And then as for the food, okay, we do have a lot in here. I don't really wanna open this, also because they are still somewhat hot and fresh, so I don't wanna ruin them, but it's basically some multiple kinds of Italian breads and some pizza, I think. Yeah. Now let's put in here. Okay, we basically have almost everything here. As you can see, strawberry jam, lots of drinks, honey, mellows, then 4 liters here. Cannot wait to drink everything. I'm super thirsty. I'm definitely super thirsty. And the only thing that we will bring more is gonna be the shaker with my pre-workout inside. Basically the usual pre-workout plus some creatine and probably some salt. We'll see. But yeah, that's gonna be what we are gonna bring today. Let's pack these things up and I'll see you all probably after weigh-in. Yeah, you probably see my happy face drinking and eating, or you're probably not gonna see me because I'm gonna be very busy drinking and eating, so we'll see. Well, I don't know if you guys could feel it, but that was definitely the hardest part. Officially my first water cut and fasting for, I think it was around 19-20 hours. That was definitely very hard. I'm definitely used to drink a lot, even if I'm not in a competition, if I'm not training super hard. I'm definitely one of those guys that drink a lot. So going from 6 liters to 0, it definitely was super hard. Made the weigh-in at the competition, actually weighed 73.5 kilos. And that's when really I was a little bit angry. I still think the weight scale I have here in my house gives me higher weights than the weight scale at the competition. I don't really want to risk it this much again, and that's also because if it happens that I have competitions in the afternoon or around lunchtime, I would definitely like to drink a little bit, to have some breakfast. So having extra margin, I'm not saying that I have to cut and weigh 70 kilos, but definitely staying around 73.5, 74 to 74 kilos the days prior to the competition would be very nice. Otherwise, if the competition is early in the morning, it's definitely fine if I skip breakfast and I don't drink anything. That's definitely easier than like waking up at 8 a.m. and then from 8 till probably 1:30, 2 p.m. not drinking and eating and anything. That's definitely the worst. I'm going to show you all some clips that I was actually enjoying. You could see my face enjoying drinking and eating. By the way, eating and drinking is 10 times better when you haven't had pretty much anything. And now the moment you are all waiting for, and that is we are going to watch the clips together. I'm going to watch the clips from the live on YouTube. I also had some clips my brother recorded with my phone, so I'm not sure which one you guys are going to see. If I'm going to do kind of a edit, so show both perspectives, I'm going to figure that out while I'll be editing this video. But in the meantime, I'll be watching the YouTube live, and you guys will be watching the final results of what I will do with all of the clips I have. Okay, first exercise, first lift is as usual squats. The first goal, as you can see down here, was 205 kilos. That's a weight I tried in my workouts. I also showed the same weight, actually 2.5 kilos less in the last prep video. And if you saw how they moved, I wasn't really super confident, but we still wanted to try this weight as for the first attempt. Also, if you can see, I'm walking with my legs very straight, and that's because this time the knee wraps were so tight and so stiff that I couldn't really bend my knees. So yeah, that's basically why I was walking that way. Anyway, here we go. Boom. Well, as you can see, they flew, literally. They moved even faster than the weight I tried in my workout in the last prep. So definitely very happy, and that's definitely the nicest way to start the competition. Keep in mind that after the weigh-in, I drank and ate a lot of stuff. Still, this time I was able to not overeat like it happened in pretty much all of my past competitions. This time it was good, but the fact that I haven't eaten and drunk anything in the last 20 hours, and then all of a sudden foods and drinks started to hit my stomach, that didn't really feel well. That didn't really feel good, and I felt that on squats. My stomach was definitely full, but in a very weird way, and was feeling a little bit weak, as like I was still digesting the food. So definitely wasn't feeling too well. And that's not to make any kind of excuses, but as usual, to give you all a perspective, kind of a full perspective of both how I was feeling and how I was feeling the weights, and yeah, pretty much everything. The second attempt of squats, we tried 212 kilos, which is already a PR. My last powerlifting competition, I closed the third attempt at 210, so this is the heaviest weight I ever tried. Still the funny walk. Well, I didn't realize in the moment I was walking that way, but it came naturally. But anyway, I gotta be honest, while I was unrocking the weights, this time it felt really hard on my back. But still, we were able to close at very nice speed. Also, I wasn't really feeling the technique at my best, and that really happened pretty much throughout my entire prep. Squats never really felt like my best. That's probably because I have very high standards. I don't know if it's for that. Squats never really felt like my actual best. And now, the last attempt, we tried 217 kilos. I was already sad, and that's because I wanted to eat 220 kilos. That was gonna be exactly three times my body weight. Nice milestone. But even I knew that I didn't really have that much that day. Anyway, felt the weight super heavy, and while I was going up, you can see now the replay on actually was my right side of the shoulders. The bar was sliding forward, and that's when I wasn't really able to close the squats. Well, I still did a PR, so I'm not too sad. I'm kind of balanced, and that's because, yeah, I did a PR, but I know I wasn't really able to give my best, and that not only in the day of the competition, but in the entire prep. I'm still very early into powerlifting. I do think that's one of the primary reasons why it is still hard to keep maintaining high standards and keep all of the details in check, but we are definitely gonna get there. And now on to the next lifts, which is bench. I was really expecting a lot from bench press. The first attempt was 125 kilos. It should have been very easy weights, so I was very confident leading up to this attempt. As I was saying, I was expecting a lot from bench press, and that's because in pretty much all of the prep, bench press really surprised me in pretty much everything. Weights, technique. So here we go. Basically warm-up weight. I still remember how they felt. Literally warm-up weight. And that's very promising for then the next goal, which is 130 kilos. Keep in mind, it's not APR. I was telling my coach that I was feeling very confident, but since he saw me failing the last attempt on squats, he wasn't really feeling too confident. So we went for 130 kilos, which again is an APR, but it is my all-time PR. And my first powerlifting competition, they moved like RP 10. So this time, we'll see. Again, probably close to warm-up weight. Again, what can I say? I was feeling confident, my coach wasn't. So I was pushing him to go higher up in the weights, and he told me to stay conservative, also because bench press really doesn't add up much to the total, and that's how you basically place in the rankings. But yeah, I was gonna try and hit 140 kilos, but unfortunately my coach still decided to keep it conservative, and we went for 135 kilos. I can already tell you all that I still feel very sad and kind of a anger inside of me. My potential was used at around 70%. So I feel I had a lot more that day. This is 135 kilos. Well, what can I say? Again, they moved very fast, and that's when in the backstage my coach looked at me and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't list you. You probably had 140 kilos." And that's when my anger, my fire reached the peak. But I cannot really be angry at him or sad. That's because I made huge PR. I'm still very early into powerlifting. I want to play the game long term, so there's no need or urge to rush the process, to rush weights. I know I'm confident I had 140 kilos, but doing them now or the next competition, does that really matter? I don't think so. Probably the next competition will be second call, the second attempt, first attempt, who knows? If bench press is gonna surprise me again like this prep, we're probably gonna see some craziness. And now, the final lift, deadlifts. Very important lifts for me. Firstly, because it actually adds up to an insane amount of the total. So not making it, like my last competition, would have been very bad. This time, while I was warming up for deadlifts, the last warm-up, which was 220 kilos, I did feel the grip very weak, and that's when really the fear, the stress hit me. And with my coach, we decided to go really conservative with deadlifts, which I didn't really feel like to, and that's because I was aiming also to a 600 total for the competition, and I would have had to do 252 kilos exactly to reach the 600 total, 600 kg total. But I don't know, I'm going to show you all. The first attempt, we decided to keep it conservative and went for 227 kilos. I wasn't really feeling too stressed out as of now, and that's because 220 kilos, aside from the grip, they moved super fast, so I wasn't really too concerned going into this attempt. Well, what can I say? This time I was able to fix the problem I had the last competition, which basically was I was gripping the bar on the smoothest part. This time all of my hands was entirely on the rough part and still wasn't able to hold onto the bar. It sounds like I'm going to give you all a bunch of excuses, but that's really what happened. They sound to me more like problems, and that's kind of good because I know what went wrong and what I will work on the next couple of months. The sweat on my hands when I'm under pressure is out of control. So even if I have chalk, that basically disappear 10 seconds after I put that. So this time, before reaching the platform, the chalk I put in my hands 10 seconds before the attempt disappeared, and that's really a problem I have even in my workouts. Sometimes when I have, very hard weights, top set weights, I tend to run out of chalk in my hands very fast. If it happens that I do have a double or a triple, like it did happen in my, probably it's the first prep videos I made about this competition, I had a triple at RP8 and I couldn't close the third rep because the chalk disappeared from my hands. So it does happen even in my workouts, and that's kind of a very big problem because I don't know if there are any practical things I can do to fix this problem, if not to basically destroy my hands with layers and layers of chalk. And that's a spoiler because that's what we did on the second attempt. I had 3 layers of chalk. 3 layers of chalk. If still any of you guys think that, it's a little bit of sweat, no, I'm not joking, I'm not kidding. The sweat in my hands is out of control. Next attempt, again 227 kilos. We tried the same weight since I wasn't able to close the first one. There's no need to rush to jump up the weight, so we tried the same, and this time we weren't really sure if 3 layers of chalk would have still worked out. So second attempt. And this time you can see from my reaction, finally I was able to close the deadlifts. Still very fast, but I didn't have any doubts about that. I did have doubts about my grip. This time was fine. It seems like 3 layers of chalk fixed the problem, I guess, maybe. So then the third attempt, we were able to jump up the weights, but still at that point I didn't even know what I was capable of grip-wise. So the third attempt was 240 kilos, which technically is a PR since I did try this weight many times, but I always failed.
Vai Aldo!
So I actually just realized that I spoiled to you guys that I did close the weight, but I just wanted to show you all how I closed it. I closed it. And as you can see, if you really pay attention, while I was at the top, I was falling to one side, and that's because, again, the bar was slipping out of my hands. Actually, this time, the right hand. So if the judge would have left me 1 millisecond more up there, I probably would have failed the weight again. I don't know if that was luck or I don't know what else. Again, muscle wise, they moved like super fast, but the grip at this point is the limiting factor. Anyway, the meet at that point ended. I placed 17th out of 25 athletes. I didn't really care much about the rankings, and this time even more. That's because it was an open competition, meaning that all of the age category could participate in that competition, and I was amongst the youngest. So if you're competing against guys that have 4-5 times your experience, I mean, there's no really game at that point. So I usually don't care about the rankings, and that's because these are my, first competitions. I'm still very early, but this time even more. I didn't give a fuck even more. The total for the competition was 587 kilos, 30 kilos less than what I wanted, but again, there's no rush. I still have plenty of competitions, plenty of PR, big numbers to hit. So yeah, overall, super happy. It technically was my best competition so far. I mean, squat PR, bench PR, deadlift PR, total PR. I mean, it really was my best competition so far, even though I wasn't able to give and perform at my best. Crazy experience, as usual. Met a lot of freak powerlifter. I mean, the environment is super motivating, as usual. Super grateful for all of the people that supported, for my brother who actually took all of the pictures and who was present at the meet, my coach as usual for giving me guidance, support in the backstage, strategically choosing the right weights aside from bench press. Anyway, the video ends here. Hope it was very inspiring and it motivated you to hit crazy numbers or just to hit the gym. Until next time, stay strong and keep pushing.